Season 2, Episode 4, Commendatori, Sopranos. This is the traveling to Italy episode, which is kind of I laughed when I saw this episode because just a year before, when this episode first came out in 2000, I was in Europe, and I am half Italian. I have family in Italy and I grew up in a very Italian neighborhood where all my friends were like, I'm like a munchie cake. I'm like only have a half, but all my friends were like hardcore Italian, and the mothers were Italian, and they were great cooks and whatever you want to call it. So I was very much brought up in the Italian lifestyle, and a lot of the family, especially the older people, did not go back to Italy, or even like some of them were even born in Italy, and they have an idealized version of what being Italian was. And when I went back to Italy, I was like, when I went to Italy and sat like lived with my family for a few weeks and basically took in the Italian lifestyle and the Italian culture. It wasn't what the people back in North America thought Italians were. They were so that's what Sopranos. Sopranos are the North American Italians. But go to Italy, it's like a very liberal country. It's a very progressive country, and people are different. They're not like what you think is. You think of like these these Godfather like kind of like epic kind of like courtyards, whatever you want to call it. And it's a very Western kind of country in a lot of ways too. So people are not what people expected, and this is what Italy is for when all the characters go there. They're all unhappy about the whole Italian experience. In a lot of ways, this is Paulie's episode where Paulie wasn't, they're bringing into these kind of characters where he didn't have many lines in the first season, where this is kind of like Paulie's breakout episode where he gets shit on wherever he goes. He doesn't like the food, he doesn't like the bathrooms, and yeah, in Europe for some reason the bathrooms are terrible. I don't know what that is, but basically he gets shit on by even the prostitute, and it's not what they think Italy should be, and they're just hanging on to this old school mentality of what Italians are supposed to be like for as long as possible. So when I was watching this episode, I was laughing all the way home because they fucking nailed it. They nailed exactly what I was feeling 6 months before when I went back home and I was telling my Italian friends who basically never went to Italy what Italy was really like, and they didn't want to hear anything of it. They didn't want to believe it. And when this episode came out, I'm like, yeah, watch this episode. This is what I was telling you all along. So, and I have a good shout because my girlfriend's in Italy right now. So shout out to my girlfriend as well. So I love this episode, and yeah, good stuff. Good stuff, Chase. That's my review.